the last step of the law of attraction is being open to receive, being receptive. Hello, you are so welcome. I am Lisa Fox from lisafox.ie, and today I want to talk to you about the confidence to receive. The confidence to receive. And you know what? This is something receiving. Receiving is like, sounds like a no-brainer. It sounds like, yeah, sure. I know what I want and I'm definitely able to receive it. But it's in manifesting, it's something that can block us right from the very get-go, right from the very first step of manifesting. We can block ourselves from actually manifesting the things that we want just because we are not willing, ready, or able to receive. And it sounds like a complicated thing to figure out, and it's not. It's actually quite simple. So I just want to talk to you a little bit about this today. And the reason I'm talking about it is actually because one of the beautiful lionesses, already, actually not already, what am I saying? One of you reached out to me and asked me to speak about this because she's finding it, a recurring pattern in her life that she's not open to receiving. She's knows what she wants, but knows that she's blocking herself from receiving and isn't quite sure why she keeps doing this. So I wanted to just talk about it and talk about all the different ways in which we actually block ourselves from receiving, even if we might not realize we're doing it. And if you're a person who isn't getting what you want, if you're sure you know what you want and it's not manifesting for you, this could very well be what's happening for you, is that you're not actually willing to receive it on some level, right? So in the law of attraction, receiving is like one of it's one of the steps. It's one of the steps. It's the last step. The last step of the law of attraction is being open to receive, being receptive, right? And yet we always forget about this, right? So I always talk about manifesting. The first step of manifesting is being clear about what you want, desiring. Then you have to feel worthy of of the thing that you're desiring. You have to feel worthy of having it. Then you have to get yourself into alignment with it by feeling worthy. And then you have to take inspired actions. So when you're in that worthy feeling place, you will get intuitive hits as to what it is that you need to do, these action steps that you need to take in order to get you towards that manifesting what you want on the physical plane. And then you have to receive it. You have to be willing to receive it, open to receiving it, and receptive of it. And for me, a big part of that receiving it is acknowledging that you have actually received what it is that you've been asking for, and really feeling it and really being grateful for it. So just want to give you an example of what receiving, what being a good receiver, what being a good receptor actually looks like, right? So if you think about it in terms of, like there's a few different examples. Are you able to take a compliment? Like that's one of the very most basic ways of receiving. Somebody says, "You look nice today." Is your instinct to go, "No, I don't. You're lying. You're lying to me." I know sometimes people do lie about that shit. But sometimes you do. Sometimes you know. And I have a problem when people are like, when you're looking your absolute worst and someone says to you, "Oh God, you look fierce well." And you're like, "Oh, I don't trust you because I know this is me at my worst. I know I don't look well, but you're telling me I do, therefore, therefore I can't trust you." But that's very, very different to somebody saying, "You look really well," and you going, "Oh God, oh geez, my hair is like a mess," and "Oh no, you like I don't even have any makeup on," and um or just like deflecting it in some way, or indeed, if somebody says to you, "You look really well," and you go, "No, you look really well. You actually look amazing," and you're just deflecting the compliment. Um, so another way is, uh, you know, you're not earning the money that you want to be earning. A really good way of, sorry, my messages are going mad here. A really good way of knowing whether you're receptive, whether you're being a good receptor, um, is asking yourself, do I have what I want? I know what I want. Do I have it? Am I making the money that I know I deserve to be making? And if the answer is no, then there is probably some part of you that's not open to receiving it. And I will go into it a little bit further in a minute. Um, are you saying yes? Right? So, for example, if I walk into somebody's house and they say, "Do you want a cup of tea? Would you like a cup of tea or something else or something stronger?" I always say yes to that. No. Would you like a cup of tea? And I'm gasping and I really would love a flipping cup of tea. And I say, "No, no, no, I'm grand. It's too much bother." I'm not being a very good receiver, right? Whereas I know that I'm in the right vibe, and it's like these little tiny signals that actually make me know that I'm getting better at receiving. When somebody says to me, "Lisa, do you want a cup of tea?" And I check in with myself, "Do I want a cup of tea?" And I go, "Yeah, I'd love a cup of tea." And I say to them, "Yeah, I'd love a cup of tea if it's not too much bother." I'm being a good receptor. Such a small example, but it's such an indicator of whether you're actually open to receiving. Um, Another example is in business. Do you make it easy for people to sign up to work with you and to pay you? Or do you make it really difficult? The amount of people that I speak to who say, yeah, I had like 5 sales conversations in the last month, but I didn't manage to actually, like, nobody signed up with me. And I go, "Okay, let's get into it." And when I get to the question of, "Okay, so what did you say? What did you say to the person when you got to the sales part of the conversation? How do you put it? How do you articulate the fact that you're asking for the sale?" And they're like, "What do you mean?" And I'm like, "Well, like when you're at that point near the end of the conversation where you know what they need and you know that you have what they need, how do you put it? Like, do you say, 'Okay, great, I can help you with that. And would you like to hear more about it?'" They're like, "No, no, no, I don't say that. Like, I don't want to be too pushy. I just leave it up to them to ask me." And I go, "Okay. So you're not asking for the sale." And that in a way is like making it really difficult for you to receive the sales, in other words, the money that you actually want. You're just putting up an actual block there. Or like, if you have a website and your links are broken, your payment links are broken, or nobody, or you don't even have a payment link on your page, for example, that's making it difficult for people to buy from you. Therefore, it's kind of you not being open to receiving. Okay. So those are some examples of how you might not have indicators of, the fact that maybe you're not open to that last step of manifestation, which is receiving. So now I want to give you an example of a real life process and what that would look like of actually being open and receptive and being willing to receive. So if you think about your goal for the month, for example, your monthly income goal, and you ask yourself, "Okay, so how much money do I want to make? Grant, I want to make this much money." And you say, Okay, so the second step of manifesting. So you've got the desire. I know how much money I want to make. Second step is, do I feel worthy of it, right? So you have to do the work on feeling worthy of receiving the things that you want. Because if you don't do the work on feeling worthy, and almost none of us feel worthy without doing the work, almost none of us have that confidence just innately. Some people do, but not many women have it. And I can tell you that certainly when you become a mother, you lose a lot of confidence. So you have to build it back up. But so doing that work on your self confidence, on your self worth, is part of being willing to receive it. So, for me, very brief outline of how one of the things that I would do in order to feel worthy of getting the thing that I've said I want is to have a look at what I'm believing. Do I believe that I'm smart enough to make that money? Do I believe that I'm beautiful enough to make that money? Am I telling myself that everybody's going to judge me? All of these beliefs that we have can either help us move forward and be open to receiving, or can stop us at that self-worth point, right? And if we don't find a way to be in belief that it can happen for us and that we are worthy of getting the thing that we want, then that's the point in which you're stopping the receiving of it. Then for me, the next step of manifesting is being in alignment, which comes naturally as a byproduct of feeling worthy of the thing that you want, but then taking inspired action from that place of alignment, right? And so this is where a lot of, like, even if you've done a bit of work on feeling worthy of the thing, and you get into that place where you're taking the actions and you're doing the things that that are going to lead you to manifest the thing that you want, or the money that you want. What often happens there is that we self-sabotage, and we go into, like, it, what ends up happening a lot of the time, in fact, and let's cut a long story short here, is that we don't do the things. We don't take the inspired action because we are not willing to receive the thing. We don't feel worthy of receiving the thing that we said we wanted. And then the last part of it then also, so sometimes we can get to that place where we actually, the next step of manifesting is actually manifesting in the physical world this thing that we want. And at this point, if it comes to us and we don't take a moment to appreciate it, to celebrate it, to be in gratitude for it, that's another way of actually blocking ourselves off from being a good receiver, and therefore manifesting more of this. One of my biggest, most powerful things that I do when I'm manifesting is say, when I get what I want, I say, yeah, more of this, please. More of this, please, universe. I love it. I love it. You have to tell the universe. You're like, yeah, here, I gave you what you want. It's like a puppy going and fetching the thing that you want and bringing it back to you. Go, here, I got it for you. Here you go. And if you go, yeah, okay, great. Yeah, next. What else do I want? You're not actually telling that puppy, yes, this is what I wanted. You're so good, puppy. You're the best puppy in the world. I want to eat your face. You want to tell that puppy, you want to tell the universe, yes, you did a great job there. This is exactly what I wanted. Now, more of this, please. Or even better, I've got a better idea, universe. Go over there and get that bone. That's the bone I want this time. And the universe works off that information, and it makes you a really powerful receiver when you get into that vibe of gratitude. So please, 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 there was one other thing I wanted to say, actually, about what it looks like when you don't feel worthy of receiving the thing that you say you want. And I know I'm going back a step, but this is actually so important. I think loads of people will recognize themselves in this. A sure sign that you don't feel worthy of receiving the thing that you said you wanted is that even before you get it, you're planning on giving it away. Even before you get it, you're deciding it can never happen for me. Even before you get it, you're divvying it out amongst all the people who you think are going to expect it from you, and telling the universe, I can never have this just for me. I can't have this thing I want for myself. I can't have it for me, because I need to give it to everybody else. I need to give to everybody else before I give to myself. And us mothers are so good at that. So, but we're telling the universe when we do that that we're not worthy of it. And I suggest that instead of doing that, a much better way, a much better way of being a receiver and actually being a successful manifester is to tell the universe when you receive, when you do all those other steps and get into that place where you receive the thing that you said you wanted, and you get into that gratitude and go, oh, thank you so much. That's exactly what I wanted. More of this, please. And from that place of gratitude, from that full cup place, you then give. Then you give to who you feel you want to give it to most, or some of it, or a piece of it. And you've got to give from that really high vibe place where you're so grateful for what you have, that your cup is overflowing. Therefore, you have enough to give to other people. That is the most powerful way to manifest. But if you've already given what you want away to everybody else before you even receive it, you're ultimately blocking yourself from ever getting it. Because the universe is taking that message that when you plan on giving everything away before you receive it, the universe receives that message as, you don't want this. You don't want it. It's other people who want it. You don't want it. And it's very literal in that way. So my darlings, remember, confidence plus faith equals success. I will see you next time. Mwah. Be a good receiver.